And so the problem arises in pollution in China, which is a important topic right now. And it is located in northern China, the border of Russia and China. The density of the smog was several times of the World Health Organization limits. This is the main topic of the news that we compared in different media. And so the problem was mainly that the limits of smoke deemed by the World Health Organization is approximately 25 micrograms per cubic centimeter. This is a standard that is considerably healthy, still healthy. And China reported Monday's levels around 500. So it is quite really hard. You see the picture. They can hardly breathe. And so schools, airports, and hospitals were due to close because a lot of flights needed to be canceled. The schools considered not healthy for students to study, and the hospitals also closed for health security. And so it was reported October 21, 2013, and it was due to the use of carbon for heating, which is emissions, right? And so we compared the different analyses for this problem in BBC News, and New York Times, and Metro, Mexico.
Here are the three types of newspaper pages we checked. This one is the BBC News, the New York Times, and the Metro. In the first one, the BBC News, we found that there's a video, and the headline, a video, and the information supported by images. And also, it has related videos and other news, and also in the last part of the news. Sorry. In the New York Times, there is also a headline, but only one image, and all the other thing is context, background, and the notice, and related news. We found here is simple, but it's the more complete way to represent the news. And finally, we have the Metro. The Metro started with a few images. We can interact with them, and then started the news. But it is really short with practically no background, just to inform fastly and simply to the reader.
But that's a video or a picture?
No, that's the picture.
The picture only.
We found another.
Okay.
And the Metro has no related topics or news. It's just the main.
And one very important thing that we compared was the different articles that we could see. For example, here they put like celebrities and everything. Here they put like related issues, and here there are also more sophisticated issues than in the one that
So based on these facts, we concluded that the news is represented according to the market of the newspaper. For example, BBC News or the New York Times are focused on some kind of people. Someone that reads the New York Times is considerably someone that's constantly in the media, like economics and all this kind of stuff. And Metro, it's more like for the general market. So of course, the language here is more simple. They're not talking about the standard limits given by the World Health Organization, because you're not going to understand them. And compared to the BBC News or the New York Times, they actually specify how percentage is the pollution considered in China more damaged, or I mean, it is more breach than
Okay.
And here we make a table to make a comparison between the headlines. And we can see, for example, in the BBC News, in the headline they include the causes and the consequences directly. In the New York Times, it was very dramatic and shocking to take the attention of the reader. And in Metro was very general, like contamination, and that's it. And for example, in the background in the research, in the BBC News, they use as a reference the World Health Organization, as my partner was saying, and they use local media. In the New York Times, they asked people and they cite officers and kids, schools, and people that were in the streets and what they were feeling. And in the Metro, they used the local TV media for the background and the research. And the relevant information in the BBC News, they mainly talk about the causes of the problem. They talk about how it happened. And in the New York Times, they are very, everything is explained very well. The causes, the consequences, and also the actions that were taken by the government. So they did a longer research and they explained basically every aspect in the news. And in Publimetro, they went more general, and instead of focusing more on the problem, they went directly to pollution in the country instead of just the place. And well, we found that the BBC News is very objective, and the New York Times sometimes it can be a little more subjective because they use more descriptions and they make you feel a little more sensitive about these news. And in Publimetro was objective.
Yeah, that word apocalypse is they're making the word up. I mean,
Yeah,
They made
exactly.
up in the newspaper. It was just exactly apocalypse because, well, it's a little bit more of a context of the pollution in China right now. It arises several years ago, but it is quite hard right now, the pollution in China, so it's considered
We can see the differences. Here they are making up words, and here they are,
no, they're just
exactly. Here it's more general, and we can see the differences of the language and the people that it's directed to.
Yeah.
Well, here, just comparing the main topics, the BBC News is a specific explanation saying what happened and why. And the New York Times are specific consequences, what happened to the people that live there and what is living. In Publimetro, they explain more what are they doing or what they want to do to finish this problem, and also talk about causes and consequences.
Yeah, no, you should read the articles.
Yeah, and the
That's
visual
why looking at
supports.
the pictures.
The visual supports are practically the same because it affects a specific region, but you can see all the smoke and all the giants here. And about the summary of content, in the BBC News, the newspaper has considered the specific places that are suffering this problem, and in the New York Times is the more complete because include explanation, what
The background.
the background and how can this affect your health. Well, it's very specific. And in Publimetro is more, we also say that general, in order to the people only to know what is happening around the world. But it's not very detailed. It's just to
Just for us to know, but nothing more.
So as a conclusion, we'll agree that the different information that's given by the newspapers or articles, the objective is the same, to inform the reader and just to see what's going on in the context of the topic. But it varies a lot depending on the kind of newspaper that you're reading. So it's important to consider a good newspaper to read the information according to the knowledge that you have. For example, if you're going to read this article and you don't know what is the World Health Organization's principle, well, you're probably not going to understand half of the article here.
Okay.
But if you are well informed or the information that you want to get is more rich, then you might want to consider the BBC News or the New York Times.
and also depends the kind of language that the newspaper uses, because you can use the same language in Publimetro that is a newspaper that you give for free, than the New York Times, that is a very prestigious newspaper. It can.
Okay.
So, I mean, the objective is just to spread the news, but the way they do it is way different than, it depends on the newspaper and the local newspaper. So, that's, for example, someone uses images or videos. I mean, they spread the news different ways, and the way that you receive the news is also different. So, that's what we
Exactly.
do.
It doesn't matter the way they explain things. It doesn't matter what it says. The important thing and in the three of them, they send the same message, but with different contexts. And that's the main difference.
And here are our sources.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.